So they're here in sunny Uluru. It's been less than 24 hours since I finished up Race to the Rock, and I thought I'd have a crack at making like a after the race ends kind of video. This is in a different format, so hopefully it doesn't look too wacky. Anyway, so one of the things that happens when you finish these races, so you arrive at the finish line, that's great, but then you have basically got what you were wearing and not a lot else, and everything is really trashed, including your body. So then you've got a list of jobs to do. You've got to look after your body, and hopefully you've got accommodation sorted and all that stuff. So like last night, my jobs really were to try and just get everything that I'm wearing clean. So one of the other benefits of having rain gear with you all the time, that's an outfit. It's not a very glamorous outfit, but so I put on my Z-Packs rain pants and my jacket, and then just put everything else in a washing machine here at the accommodation I'm staying, so that I had clothes to put on this morning, which was so nice, clean clothes, incredible. And I also sometimes send myself a care package for the end. So I forgot this time, but Dave fortunately did that for me, so I went and picked that up at the post office today, and that has like shoes in it. It's got some like comfy trackies and just those things from home. Saves me going hunting around in a resort village trying to find things to wear. And anyway, so I did that. So this is a bit of like an unpacking the bike video, but it's not really pure because some of the stuff I've washed already, so I can go through that. But anyway, here we go. So remember how clean and organised it looked in the pre-race video? It doesn't look like that anymore. So I'll just give you a run through. So yeah, the cockpit here. Now this is like my cue sheet. I don't usually use a paper cue sheet, but I figured for this trip, usually I just take a photo of it and I zoom in on my phone. But I thought it's entirely possible I run out of battery power for stuff, so I just bring a printed one just in case, because I use it all the time, like to check distances between things or what time shops open, stuff like that. So I just that tucked under my bar, so that's cool. Helmet, like look at all that filth, so gross. So things, I had to rearrange where I was putting stuff as the ride progressed, and I figured this would happen because the food I can eat is so random. Like I was carrying a lot of canned goods at one point, so this was like the pantry initially. When you use this as a pantry for canned goods, it sounds like a shopping trolley. Think of all those corrugations versus cans. Clunk, 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 clunk. It's just not good, and I was worried about, I don't want to damage the mounts. So I had to like move stuff from here and pack cans in there, and it was quite a funny exercise. So one glove I forgot to wash yesterday, so covered in radix. So I was eating that while riding, so disgusting. So I was so glad I had those though. You got those snow gloves. It got to -4 one night. Yeah. Oh, I still got. That's just a packet. Okay, lovely. That's about it really in that fork pack. That's an easy unpack. Manky bottles. I'm moving up here to the feed bags. Yeah, still got some sunblock left, so that's a bonus. I was charging these while I was riding along to my headphones. Disgusting spork. I use it all the time though, fishing out avocado stuff and obviously eating weird food on the go. A hand sanitizer. And just check out the filth. This is like, have you heard the phrase poverty porn? This is a bit like that, like, oh, I can't look, it's gross, but I really want to. I was so glad I had these eye drops with me, because at some point I lost my sunglasses, and so all that dirt was going into my eyes, so this just was like such a saviour. What else? Oh yeah, and my lip balm's already out of here because I've been using that. I use this inhaler thing so much, and I was getting loads of blood noses on the trip too, and like it's not a glamorous business. This is pretty similar to where we started. It's just so handy having all this stuff up front. Like my multi-tool, I use this a lot. So the two mechanical issues that I had, this, I think at some point one of the bolts came loose and then it was rattling. I tightened it up a couple of times, but I reckon the thread got damaged. And so, yeah, these little volo straps, little tiny ones, super useful for fixing stuff like that. So it didn't affect anything because I just had it strapped on, so that's fine. And the other thing is one of these bottle cage, just one of the bolts came a bit loose. But you just, as you're riding along, like, because this is your best friend, your bike on the road. If your best friend's whinging a bit, you got to listen. What's up, mate? It's a bit of detective work, and before it became an issue, it was just that one bolt making a noise. Yeah, bits of no-dos hanging around. I don't go hard with caffeine. Like maybe 1 or 2 a night if I need it. Those tablets is just like having a cup of coffee. You have fly net. I use that a bunch, especially in the last kind of sections out of Alice. Super duper mega flies back there. Yeah, and having these water purification tablets up front, I was using those. Yeah, my little Gerber dime still sitting in there, going strong. Yeah, so pretty much the same as what we had, except less Panadol left. So I had some of that. Haven't obviously taken as many iron tablets as I should have. I've still got some of those left. Yeah, that's about that. Other side, feed bag. This was living on my Salomon vest during the race, which was quite handy because Dave was giving me updates. Erin is 20 k's behind you still. Things like that. And you're going great. Good on you, Dave. Oh, this in case my mouth got dry. Obviously it didn't because they're still in there. Yeah, I sometimes chuck things in here to charge them, like from this cord here. So I was charging my helmet light, nice and dusty. Look at all the remaining snack stuff in there. Oh, and again, having this stuff accessible. This is like lubes and things like that. So this super lube doesn't work as well as Triflow for lubing, like, see my pedals? I reckon this attracts dirt, this super lube, but the pedals get so stiff because they're dry that it's hard to get your foot, you unclip and stuff, so it's helpful to have some sort of lubricant for those little springs in there. So this doesn't work as well as Triflow, but it did the job. And you know, I never used, this is my plug kit. I never used the little toothbrush for my chain once. I was just chucking chain lube on every, I don't know, at least once a day. It was so dry. This is living in here. This is going to get a bit gross now. This is just from my first aid kit. I was getting these blood noses and they were quite bad. And one day I was riding along and I sneezed, and you can imagine the carnage that happened. So I thought maybe I could rip some of this off and just, you know, make a plug for my nose. Because it was pretty hectic. Gosh, this is getting so gross. I was going to say I'm not that feral, but no, I really am. Still got lube left. I did use my pump, I think, once because I've been going to the bitumen sections. So I added some more. So you can see even through the zipper. See how dusty this is? It's like this red dust just gets in everywhere. There's spare Volo straps. A little bike lock. It's not so little, but it's very helpful. I use that twice, I think. Oh, my little air tag. That's where it lives in there for tracking my bike. Got some spokes that live in here too. Didn't need those. Good thing I had the ventilator up front. I got pretty wheezy, which is pretty normal for me to get wheezy on these rides. And I often don't even notice while I'm riding, but then I lay down to go to sleep and I can hear my breathing. Oh, emergency rice, because I was struggling for real food, like struggling so hard. This is pretty funny. So I lost my sunglasses, and then at Halls Creek I bought some more, and for $12.95, I mean, you're not gonna get a lot of sunglasses for that. But these lasted, I think, a day and a half of rugged outback riding. So the arm is somewhere. God knows. So they were useful for a little while. Oh, and this bladder. There's still got some water in it. Yeah, I was filling up the 4-litre bladder in here quite a lot. You can see that, maybe you can't see, there's a shelf in here that, so if I wasn't carrying a lot of water, I'd put the shelf in and then use this for shoving layers and things like that. I'll go around the other side. So this bag I've had is the original bag from, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. It's an old bike bag dude made for me. It's super robust. Oh yeah, my first aid kit. I actually use so much out of this while I'm riding. Like, gosh, I've got medications in here and band-aids. My feet got pretty hacked up. I had blisters on the ball of my foot. And then when I was crossing one of the rivers, I cut my foot. So I've been managing that just with antiseptic. I take the time. Some people just keep riding on, but you've got to look after if there's an injury like that. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a whole world of problems. It's just random lids and things from electrolytes. That's about it in there. Oh, there's the arm for the sunnies. Beauty. I can repair those like never. What else? My fork pack. So I don't know that there's much in here anymore. Oh yeah, so at one point I moved my clothing, which lives in this dry bag, into this fork pack to put the cans that I was carrying in the trunk. Again, more Radix wrappers and one of that tap key, which I did use. Oh, these are straws. I get those little Tetra packs of juice, and I carry those. It seems a bit strange, but it feels very exciting. I think it's like 3 a.m. You're hundreds of k's from anywhere. You haven't had an exciting drink in a long time. And I remember, I've got a Tetra pack of juice in here. It feels very exciting. And it's packed so small, and the rubbish, of course, is negligible. I put the rubbish that I'm carrying in these little pockets, little muesli bars. And I couldn't find anything at Curtin Springs to eat really other than chocolate bars to keep me going. So depressing. But I was under-fueling quite a bit just because of what was available. Okay. This is going to be a bit of a wild collection back here. Oh, this is my little arse emergency kit, which got a bit of a workout, I must admit. It was because it was such an unhygienic and hot race. That's a little strap I put around my ankle when it's night riding. And for rain pants, another bladder. Oh, this is the one sock I forgot to wash yesterday, which is a shame. One of my favourites. Yeah, I carry 2 pairs of socks, so they're both like wool socks. These Iron Merino ones, they're a bit thicker in the foot. They're good for when it's cold. Pretty good when it's hot, but when it's like in the 40s, my feet get quite swollen, so then I have a thinner sock. And taking the time with that stuff, I think, makes a difference because it prevents, like if you've got blisters, which I got blisters because I was wearing the wrong socks to start with. I wore the thin ones when I should have the thick ones on. Anyway, my fault, but I was able to swap over. So I'm really sensitive with things like that. So platypus is all, and I was using all these bladders. I carried like 15 litres at one point. Just a lot of weight on the bike. Oh, this is my water filtering kit. So it's got the Sawyer squeeze in there, even the flushing thing in case the filter gets clogged, and a bunch of those aqua tabs. You know, I didn't end up using this. I'm still glad I took it. Like, I had opportunity if I needed to filter, but because I was able to carry more water, then I went, only once I went off course by about, I think, 2 k's total to fill up from another water source. I had those tablets, and the creeks I got water from were the ones that were flowing. So if the water's flowing and it's kind of clear, then I just aqua tabbed it, and that was fine. Spare straps. Oh yeah, this is my collection of spare tubes. Didn't need them, and it's got a spare bottom bracket bearing in there too, just in case. Trying to find the right size of one of those in the middle of nowhere would not be easy. Oh, backup electronics. Didn't use it, but came real close. I ran out of battery for my helmet light, like on the last night. So in that scenario, like, it's super helpful that I had a spare one. But yeah, the last night, so I didn't need it. But it gives you peace of mind. And peace of mind is worth carrying. Another spare tube. Yeah, that's it. Cable ties. So that's pretty much the wrap of that gear. So here's the other things I was carrying that I've since. This is my rain pants, rain jacket. The Salomon vest worked quite well for ready access for things. Anything I was using all the time, I just threw in the vest, and then topped up with I had a bladder in the back. Washed the map hat. That held up surprisingly well. It looked so trash, so I thought we might be over, but no, still good. Patagonia micropuff vest was great. It got down to -4 on that last night. So I had everything on, basically, all of these clothes. These leg warmers, the Rafa Explore leg warmers. And this is the washed snow glove. And I had other gloves with me this time too, to try and protect my hands because it's so corrugated. And it definitely was worth carrying them. And I'm amazed I didn't lose one. That's the first time that's happened. Sun sleeves, these I started with holes in these. But I thought maybe this would be their last journey, but they still were fine. There's the other sock I washed. Buff, clean beanie now. Yeah, my toiletries collection, yeah. I think that's really about it. So it seemed like I was packing really heavy, but for an event like this, my thinking is, if you turn it to me, because there are such long distances between resupply points and the opening hours were so awkward, if you carried more, it could save you waiting 12 hours for something to reopen. Like, it's huge. It just having that freedom to continue is like priceless. And obviously you don't want to run out of water either in a race that's that kind of remote and hot. My sleeping setup on the front here, this is the other like rad thing. Having a mat like this that's just accessible. I mean, I don't know if you saw some of the photos I took of the areas that you're sleeping in. Like, so I know like one of the other guys brought a tent, and there's so many times when you just can't pitch a tent because it's rocky, it's rough. Unless you're not going looking for well-groomed camping areas. you're sleeping trail side usually, because you're tired and you go to sleep now. So having a mat that is not going to get punctured, and if you just want to have a nap, like I'm going to take a nap for 20 minutes or half an hour or something like that, it's easy just to pull this off and lay on it. Otherwise, you're just laying in the dirt, which I do sometimes do anyway. But it's good to have the option, especially when it's like it was super cold out there. So the bivvy setup, I think I've shown this before, but it's the Mountain Laurel Designs Event Soul bivvy in there. I took a Flame 2, it's the women's version of the Spark Cedar Summit sleeping bag, with a liner and a pillow and these synthetic booties, and I was so glad I had all of that stuff. I was really warm when I was sleeping, even at, I think it got to like -2 when I was using this sleep kit. And with all of my clothes on as well, I was like warm as toast. So yes, heavier than the ultralight stuff, but for me, anything that gives you the flexibility around when and how you sleep, that makes a big difference to me. Just give me the confidence, that I can just keep going and I've got what I need. So that stuff adds up. Who'd have thought that the mega packed bike carrying so much stuff is a race winning setup? There you go, the tiny tractor was thriving. Hope that was interesting. It's kind of fun, just surveying the carnage afterwards. Thanks for following along.